welcome back to another Sunday prep day. If you're new here, every Sunday I prep for the week, so that means cutting all my vegetables and preparing things that take a little bit longer. So today I'm going to hard boil some eggs. Other weeks I'll do soups, sauces, stews, that kind of stuff. But this week they're like summery meals mostly, so I don't need to do a lot of prep like soups or stuff. So I'm just going to take some eggs. I'm gonna do a whole bunch because I'm gonna make some deviled eggs for lunch tomorrow for Meatless Monday. But I also just want some hard-boiled eggs just for snacking. So I just have my basket in my Ninja Foodi. You can use a trivet, doesn't really matter. As long as the eggs are not on the floor of the Ninja Foodi. Or what was called the Instapot or whatever you have. It's just a pressure cooker thing. So, water, eggs, pressure lid on, valve closed, and I'm going to put that on pressure cook on high for 5 minutes, and I'm just going to let that do its thing. In the meantime, let's just get starting with cutting. So I just have some spring onions that I'm mostly just going to use for a garnish. I have a bunch, so I'm just trying to work through them. So I'm just going to slice them nice and fine, and I'll use them in a bunch of things. So as always, we'll get to the meal plan. For lunch today, I'm going to have some sandwiches. I just have some brown bread. And I usually have sandwiches on Sunday because I'm diabetic, had to cut some carbs, and the easiest way I found to do that for me personally was to cut them from my lunch. So, but I do like breads. On the weekend I have my cheat days, and I have sandwiches, and I usually have whole wheat. So now I just have some chicken breasts. And I have a little bit of lettuce left over, so I'll cut that up and use that on my sandwich. And by the way, if you want to follow along, every time I post a video about a Sunday Prep Day video on here, I also post a post on Instagram. Can't speak today apparently. With like the meal plan written out, all the ingredients that I'll be needing for the week, and everything like that, as well as the before and after picture of the prep. So if you want to follow along, you can find that there. And I'm just doing prep today. If you want to see what I ultimately eat, I also post every single meal on Instagram, and about once a month I post a video on here where I show you everything I eat in a day for the week. And I'll start filming one later, so that will come out on Friday. So, but yeah, just working my way through these spring onions, and we'll continue with the meal plan. So for dinner tonight, I'm going to do some chicken drumsticks from the air fryer. Don't know how I'm going to season them yet. We'll figure that out. But I'll have that with some broccoli and some potato wedges. And the potato wedges I'll also just air fry. So, there we go. Next up, I have a couple of cloves of garlic, just for a few different things. And I'll cut those up. So, we've done Sunday. For Monday, Meatless Monday, like I said. For lunch, I'm going to do some deviled eggs. And then for dinner, I'm going to do some tacos or quesadillas, but they'll be, if I'm going to make tacos, they're going to be vegan, and I'll make them with beans or lentils. I haven't fully decided yet. if I decide to add some cheese and make them quesadillas. Obviously, they're not vegan anymore, they're vegetarian. But we'll just see what I'm in the mood for. Same ingredients, it's just if I add cheese or not, which I probably will. Then for Tuesday for lunch, I'm just going to have some sausages with some broccoli. So I'll just grill those sausages. And yeah, just broccoli on the side. I do like broccoli a lot. And then for dinner on Tuesday, I do Taco Tuesdays. I'm going to have some tacos with chorizo. It's a Spanish chorizo, actually. So I'll just saute that with a bunch of vegetables like the garlic, onions, peppers, chilies, maybe some spring onions as well, definitely for garnish, and chorizo. And maybe I'll add some cheese as well. We will see. That's one great thing, by the way, about just prepping ingredients and not the whole thing. First of all, it's fresh when I make it. I don't really like warmed up things. But also I can still change things, like do I want cheese or not? I can decide the day of. And, you know, if I want what kind of taco I want. Maybe I want some whole wheat or regular. Who knows? I can still change things around. I can change the seasoning, etc. But because all my ingredients are ready, I can still have my meal on the table in no time at all. So, next up, I have some, I have an onion and some shallots because I had shallots left over. So if you don't have shallots, just use an extra red onion. And like I already mentioned, this is for things like my tacos, quesadillas, etc. And I just have a bad spot inside of this red onion, so I'll just get that out. Yeah, the red onions have just not been a great quality recently, so. But I still had shallots anyway, so that's very similar. So I'll just slice these up. Then we were on Wednesday for lunch. I'm gonna do a low carb stir fry, but I'll use some chorizo for the protein since I'll have some left over for my tacos. And that will be with broccoli stems to keep it low carb. The broccoli stem will be like what you'd normally have for rice or noodles, like to bulk it up. So I'll do onions, I'll do peppers, I'll do chilies, I'll do garlic, I'll do some carrot. So there we go. And I'll do the same with these shallots. And we were on dinner. For dinner, I'm gonna do a rice bowl with some chicken. And on the side, so here's the thing. I have a bunch of broccoli, I have broccolini, I have snow peas, and I have sugar snaps. So I'm kind of going to use whatever I fancy that day. So I'll probably do either the snow peas or the sugar snaps to go with that rice bowl with chicken. But I could change things around, whatever I'm in the mood for. But I'll have some pickled vegetables on the side. I've been really into pickled vegetables lately. And I'll do some, again, I have some options. I have some gochujang sauce. I have some Korean barbecue sauce. I have some poke sauce. I'll just, for several meals, I'll just mix and match out of those two. I also have some kimchi that I could use instead of the pickles. So it's basically just assemble your own bowl kind of thing. So let me just keep working on these shallots. Then for Thursday for lunch, I'm going to have some sausages with probably some sugar snaps, but again, I can do broccolini, broccoli, sugar snaps, snow peas, whatever I'm in the mood for. And then for dinner, instead of a rice bowl, Thursday I'll probably do a noodle bowl. So same thing, noodles, chicken, sugar snaps, snow peas, broccolini, whatever I'm in the mood for, kimchi or pickled vegetables, whatever I'm in the mood for, and Korean barbecue sauce or gochujang sauce or whatever I'm in the mood for. And then for Friday, for lunch, I do fish Fridays. I'm just gonna have some grilled salmon with probably broccolini, but again, any of the options I have, whichever I have left over. And for dinner, I'm gonna do probably a grain bowl, so either oat rice or mixed grains with some salmon and whatever of the greens I have left over, with pickles or kimchi, probably some poke sauce because that goes better with fish. So yeah, just make it up as I go along. Just use the same components in different ways, basically. Next up, I have some little gem left over, so I'm just gonna use that for my sandwiches. Cut off the end, cut in half, and just shred that real quick. And speaking of shredding, I need some shredded carrot for my vegan tacos or vegetarian quesadillas. And I'm just going to use my julienne slicer. You can use a coarse grater, whichever works for you. But yeah, this is going to be the bulk for my tacos or quesadillas. And so I'll mix that with onions, with some pepper, chilies, garlic, and the lentils or beans. But yeah, I'll just quickly do this whole carrot. Okay, that's one big carrot done. If you have smaller carrots, just do two. And then for my stir fry, I'm just cutting off this bad end. These are older carrots, so I just need to use those up. But I'll have this smaller carrot. I'll just cut that in half and slice that nice and thin. And these will be for my low carb stir fry. Okay, that is carrots done. Next up, let's get a bigger container. And I have some broccoli. I'll just cut the florets off and I'll cut them into bite-sized pieces. And I need 2 portions, so that's just going to be this whole head of broccoli because I do like getting my veg in. Okay, that's the florets. Then I'm just going to take these leaves off. I don't want those. And the little remnants of the stems, those little eyes, I'll take those off as well. Oh, and my Ninja Foodi just beeped. It's done with the 5 minutes, so I'm just going to let it natural pressure release for 5 more minutes before I take the eggs out. But yeah, this stem, since I have my julienne slicer out, I'm just going to use that to grate that. You can cut it in small pieces, you can grate it however fine you like it. And the only thing I'm not going to use is the very end bit because that's kind of dry and woody. But yeah, that's all ready to go for my low carb stir fry. Then next up, I have some potatoes. I'm just going to cut them into wedges and I'll air fry those tonight to go with my broccoli and my chicken drumsticks. And I just have 2 of them. Next up, I have some peppers. I'll just do 2. I have one regular bell pepper and one of these pointy peppers. I think they're called Anaheim. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But it's a sweet pepper, not hot. But I'll do the exact same thing even though they're slightly different shapes. I'll cut them in half, take the seeds out. And I'll just dice them up by cutting them lengthwise and then across. So that's the pointy pepper done. And I'll do the same thing with this bell pepper, just cut it into long strips first, and then cut across to dice. And these will go in my stir fry, in my tacos, in my quesadillas, and things like that. I might even saute them with my broccoli or broccolini. But yeah, I'll just do that for the other half as well. And 5 minutes are up, so I'm just going to release the rest of the pressure and turn it off. So I'll just let that vent for a moment while I work on some chilies. I have some red cayenne, and I have 2 jalapenos, and don't know what this one's called. It looks similar, but it's softer than and thinner walled than a jalapeno. So the cayenne, I'm just going to slice in half, seeds and all. Seeds don't bother me. They're not super spicy, and I like a bit of spice anyway. And these chilies are for my tacos, my quesadillas, my stir fry, etc. And these red ones I'll probably also use for like my broccolini, my broccoli and stuff. And I'll use some onion and stuff for that as well, just to add a little bit more veg to that and a little bit more color specifically. So, and these jalapenos and the other one, if you do know the name, let me know. But I will take the seeds out of that just because there's a lot more seed in there and I don't like that. It's not about spice, it's just I don't want all that pith and stuff in there. So take the seeds out. And in the meantime, my Ninja Foodi had released all the pressure, so I'm just going to take the lid off. And I have a bowl of ice water right here, and I'll just dump my eggs in there. And those can just cool down. And while that cools down, I'm just going to slice up my chilies. And then last for prepping, at the market yesterday, I saw this melon, and I thought that would be delicious to have on hand. So I'm just going to cut in half, take out the seeds, just scoop them out. If you really want to, you can save the seeds and roast them, but I don't really care that much for them. So I'm just going to discard them. But yeah, let's do the other half as well. And I'll just quickly peel them. And yes, I like cutting them in half before I peel them because now I have a nice firm base, so they're not sliding around. I was so close to doing everything in one take, but my camera overheated, so I had to let that cool down real quick, mostly change the battery. But yeah, I'll just cut it one way, cut it across like this, and then cut it the other way to cue it up, and now I'll just have some fruit ready to go for the week. So if I'm craving something sweet, I just have some melon, which is not going to be as bad as grabbing some chocolate or something like that. And I do not have like a massive sweet tooth, but I do love my chocolate. Okay, that's all the chopping done. And then I'm just going to take my eggs. And these will be the easiest eggs you'll ever peel because they've been done in the pressure cooker. I'm just going to peel this whole bunch. Yeah, if you struggle with peeling eggs, or sometimes when they're really fresh, they are very hard to peel in the pressure cooker, all of them peel as easy as this. So just tap, tap, roll, and as you can see, the shell basically just falls right off. And that's the eggs done. So that's all the prep work done for this week. I can now have lunch or dinner on the table in minutes just by spending about 30 minutes or so prepping on a Sunday. So if you like this, I do this every single Sunday. And if you'd like to see what I do with all of this, you can check out my Instagram where I post every single meal, or you can check out the video that I post about once a month on here where I show you everything I eat in a day for the week. And I'll start filming one after I clean up when I have my lunch. And that will be coming out on Friday. So if that all sounds good to you, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Until next time, bye for now.